What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We are back here at our Black Gold Barndominium. I always feel like I need to make that really black gold barndominium. And we're here today making progress. We want to share with you guys a little bit about what's going on. We've got so many things really that we need to communicate to you and to let you know sort of what's changing for the dynamics on this build. Obviously, you guys know there's a basement. We've got a detached barn. We got a parking garage over top of the basement. But to add to all of that, today's video is sponsored by Huberwood Zip. Has been a great partner of ours for many years. You guys know, you've seen us using this product for so much on our channel. Pretty much every build we've ever shown you has had the Zip product on it. But today we're taking it a step further on this Black Gold Barndominium, and we're going more towards a Monopoly style framing where we're going to completely wrap the entirety of the whole roof as well as the walls. And to add to that, we're going to be putting the Zip R sheathing on this build, which is the R6. So we're going to be segmenting out on this video, showing you guys some of the dynamics, the details, the things that are changing that we're able to do as we do that on this build. So I hope you enjoy this video. Let's get it going. So today, obviously, we're here making progress. We've got our fabricators have been working over on our basement side, and then we've got our wood framers are here on the other side of the house as we're starting to lay out some of the work for our roof systems. But I thought, hey, we need to show you guys this because you won't be able to see it with this magnitude later. But as you can see, this is why we like to do this. We have this free span. It gives us all this open space. And really, as a design standpoint, as you could imagine, you could do anything you wanted to do under a space like this. Now, this is like going to be an 8,500, I think, square foot or 9,000 square foot under roof total. So there's a lot of roof going on here. So of course, added to that, we do have kind of a multi-level going on where our basement is, which is back farther this way. But I just wanted you guys to see this. As you can see, we're running our purlins inside. We do this in order to have better sealing capabilities, where our wood framing is going to meet the bottom of those. And because we have the exterior insulation on this build, it's going to come up and wrap over top of all of our steel. We won't have any concerns of conduction. And as we segment this out, you'll see why. And now we're down in the basement, and let's share some of the details that we've had here for the floor system.
Yeah, well, we've got these open web steel joists here. These are a 14 KCS3 series joists. They're spaced on these embeds we placed during our concrete pour, and they're 16-inch on center. We've got this bridging detail here. This is just a small angle trim, and it's placed every 3 foot. And the purpose of that is basically just to give the bottom of these joists some support, because this is going to be an open ceiling here. And that way those joists just don't have any movement or anything over time.
Deflection, it helps prevent any deflection.
Above this is actually going to be the parking. This is the garage up here, so you're going to have cars and stuff coming in, so it just helps keep everything strong because we're going to have concrete as well. Kind of just gives the whole system support.
Yeah, and what about the deck that's on top? So what is our thickness of that, and how much concrete's going to go up above here?
So that's a 0.06C 26 gauge conform deck, and at our top, it's going to be 3 inches. And then you've got all these different ribs here, so you'll have 3.5 inch thickness there, but our main level will be 3 inches of concrete.
All right, and the overall layout here, we got about 1,000 square feet almost, like 900 to 1,000. But you're gonna have 2 forms of exit here. You got stairs that are gonna go back here on the back side.
Right.
We're gonna have another stairs that go in here.
Right.
And then you got wall that's going to be framed right here, Brandon.
Right, within the door here, going out to the staircase there.
And one of the things that's kind of interesting about this design is once you get into this space, it's really going to be open.
Yeah.
Going all the way up to the upstairs.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool.
Like above.
Yeah, that'll be our third level from here.
Yeah.
And that's another apartment up there.
We should have just made plans to put an elevator.
Yeah, right.
That would have been the next best thing.
Yeah. Kind of the layout down here, it's about 1,000 square feet. We're gonna have a bunk room over in this area. This is actually gonna be a full restroom here that's gonna have shower, toilet, and a lavatory sink. And then coming into here, we'll have our full kitchen. And this is just kind of all of our living space here.
Yeah, so we got a lot more progress to come. Yeah. As we get in here, start framing some of this out. You guys know we're gonna be sharing more of that with another segment here on another episode. So you got to subscribe to follow for more updates on this build. Okay, well, we wanted to take a minute and give you guys a little bit of an idea of what's happening here. Obviously, this is different because we're going to be putting deck on top of our roof. But when we were trying to formulate a plan to do this, our thoughts were, how could we do this as uninterrupted as possible from what we normally do for our typical roof installation? And the best thing that we've been able to come up with, which is pretty similar to how we do some of our framing underneath, is to add sleeper studs on top of our existing purlins for our steel roof system. And what that looks like is basically, as you can see, the guys have been working today for several hours trying to lay these out, and we're doing this on 2-foot spacing. Now, when it comes to the requirements, installation requirements with Zip, you can do 2-foot spacing with the 7/16 sheathing, but you do need to use the H clips. Now, we decided to do this to keep with standard spacing as what we use for our sheetrock underneath. And we feel like this is pretty adequate and will give us plenty of support for the roof deck as well. Now, on our main purlins that run underneath parallel with the building, these purlins are on 4-foot spacing. Now, a lot of times we could go as far as 5 or more feet spacing for those purlins, but we do 4-foot, and that gives us more strength as well. So one thing that we're doing to fasten these 2x4s, which are laid on a, they're laid what we call sleeper studs. They're laying flat. That's why they're like asleep. But we're using these coated tech screws, which can be bought from the hardware store. These are nice. They're self-tappers, and you don't have to worry about them rusting or anything like that. These have been great screws. Actually, we used to use these to attach our main steel to our walls, and now our framers are shooting those studs into the steel now because they don't want to fight with these. But they're a little easier going into the roof purlins, so we don't mind using them there. Now, we'll use a different type of fastener when we get into laying the sheathing, and as we make a little bit more progress there, we'll show you what we're using there. So we wanted to take a minute because this is a sponsored video with Huberwood Zip. And this has been a great product, actually, we've been using for a long time. Yeah. But we want to take a minute and really talk about some of the advantages to this product and just the sheathing alone. Yeah. Now, to give a little bit of background, I've learned about Zip is that this was originally designed to be a roof product, which is kind of interesting because all we've ever used it for, except for now on this project, has been on the wall systems. Yeah. So even the texture that is built into the product itself, there is some highs and lows. It's got a pattern in this for the main exterior part of it. That was there to give a little bit of traction for the roof. Yeah. So that they can be able to walk on it when it comes to being up top. Now, there are thicker sizes of this, which are coated in another color, but this particular product is approved to be used on the roof. Yeah. But you got to have the proper spacing in order to use it, or to use the H clips like what we're going to be doing in this instance.
Yeah.
But let's talk about what the guts are, and can you give us a couple of things that you know about this product?
The biggest thing is the WRB, the water resistant barrier that's built into it. And it's a phenolic resin impregnated overlay.
All right, well that sounds like a whole lot.
Yeah.
But the phenolic, I know that resin itself is actually, not only is it baked in the actual OSB strand board, but it's also part into the connecting part with this green overlay.
Right.
Somebody might say, well, it's just the same as using OSB, and I could use another house wrap to achieve the same thing that you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
So what would be some holes we could shoot into that? No pun intended.
Yeah, well, I mean, by the time you purchase the OSB, the house wrap, your material cost may be cheaper per sheet, but then the additional labor to lay the house wrap, to try to integrate some sort of tape on your seams, and the labor to install that, you probably end up being, more.
Yeah. By the time you're paying for labor, adhesives with the tapes, to try to seal this up and to accomplish the same thing.
Yeah.
So it goes back to the whole question, which I ask a lot of time, well, what kind of consumer are you?
Yeah.
Do you want to have a house that is leaky, or do you want to achieve an air barrier with your product? And for me, this is where it really drives it home, because having an air barrier on your house, is it important or is it not?
Yeah.
And if you're going to have an air barrier, we feel like this is the best product to use, because not only it's proprietary tape, because I've had word actually from certain suppliers that are using maybe even different substrates in their store, but are using the zip tape.
Only zip tape, right? Yeah.
For a different brand product.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of interesting. I'm like, well, why don't we just use the whole thing? So for me,
The whole system.
we love using the zip with the tape and the liquid flashing. There's so many great things about all that. But the real question is, for folks that are maybe trying to decide whether they want to use this product, is, do you want an air barrier?
Yeah.
Because if you're going to use an air barrier, this is the most efficient way to accomplish that.
Yeah, definitely.
So what about our nailing pattern, and what are we going to be doing with the fasteners on this?
When fastening the zip, you have to be 3/8 of an inch from the edge, and make sure that your nail head sits flush with the face of this zip. Another kind of cool thing that Zip does is they have these sheathing circles on here, and it doesn't necessarily indicate exactly where every fastener is going to go, but it's more there kind of as like a chalk line to show where your studs will be. And they're kind of marked on either a 16 or a 24-inch on center spacing, and that depends on which orientation you're laying your zip, whether you're running horizontal or vertical, which of these sheathing circles you would use.
One more other piece of information, which I think is pretty critical, is that this sheathing has 180-day exposure, which means that you could literally be exposed to the elements in its protected state with the zip tape, all that kind of stuff, for up to 180 days, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Like if you have delays on your project and you're not able to get your materials, that's a great.
Your wall covering is going to be right.
And I think that should tell you a little bit about the durability. The other thing is, for this product, there's also a 1/2 inch thick product, which, they're on a 4x9 sheet, you can go to 32-foot span as instead of 24 or 16. You could go up to 32 inches. That's as well as a structural panel. Now it's a different color, so that's where you're seeing the other different type of product.
Which that's like your red zip you typically see on roofs a lot of.
But for the 7/16 panel, you can see this is rated for 24 inches or 16-inch span, which is what we're doing here. Lastly, we should say that this system has a 30-year guarantee when it comes to the warranty on this product, which I think is pretty interesting to know as well.
When you're applying it every step properly, according to what their specifications are.
So Zip stands behind their product. I think it's a great product as well. Right now our framer is working on framing out the chimney main frame so we can develop and determine where the perimeters are going to be on that as it comes up into the roof line. So we got production going on with that, as well as laying the deck and the steel framing fabricator. So quite a bit going on. All right, well, we're getting into the nitty-gritty details of how we're installing all of these systems. And right now we went on up to the roof where we've got Brandon who's going to show us some of the installation methods that we're using here. And we thought, hey, this would be a good thing to do since this is our first time using the zip sheathing on our steel frame barndominiums. We've used it before on a conventional frame, but here we're using it for our steel frame. We want to show you what that looks like.
Starting at the top, we've got our sheathing here, and this is our zip 4x8 7/16 sheathing we're using here. We've got our supports underneath, what we call a 2x4 sleeper stud. We have those boards running 2 foot on center. Since we're doing that, we have to use these H-clips. And these H-clips we're putting kind of centered in between these sleeper stud supports. So it gives kind of these lateral seam support every 12 inches, which makes it real strong, real durable on all of our seams there. Something we're doing here on our vertical seams is we're putting, trying to put our nails about every 6 to 8 inches. And again, it just kind of keeps everything together as if you have any movement or shifting over time of anything, it just kind of keeps those seams, those boards seated. And again, kind of don't have any lifting or nail pops or anything like that over time. We're using these ring shank nails to secure all this. These are pretty standard sheathing type nails here we're using. As you can see here, guys, we've got a good bit of progress to go. We look forward to giving you guys a view of what this finished product will look like as we get it done.
And what better goes with a barndominium home than a beautiful barn like this? This is our gambrel barn, which will have animals. I know everybody gets a little concerned that our barndominiums don't have animals in them, but a lot of times they do. It's just more like dogs and cats. Well, this one's going to have horses. So let's tell you a little bit about what we're going to have here. We're going to have some tack rooms, and then we're going to have a covered platform up here. And this is kind of cool. You got this walk under area here where the guys are working. We're going to have a set of stairs over here that go up to this spot up there, and we're going to be putting the Advantech subfloor system up above there for the overall deal. Now, one of the things that's a little bit different here, as you can see, is because this is just a barn, we are not doing zip system and stuff like that on the walls on the outside. You know, best I know, I don't have any existing plans for air conditioning in here. So this is all going to be just an insulated barn. All right, guys, well, that's pretty much going to wrap up today's episode on covering our sheathing portion of this build. We've got a lot more to come as we get into doing the zip R and showing you guys what that consists of and what's different and how it's changing for us on this build. And if you're looking to build a barndominium and maybe you're outside of our build radius and you are doing this and you're looking for a good way to achieve an air barrier, I recommend you would use the Zip products. We've been using them for over 5 years. Never had any issues or complaints or anything about it. We're just looking to do more and figure out ways that we can improve our efficiencies and even go beyond. So that's what's so exciting to us about this project. It's our pleasure bringing this video to you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, follow along for more. If you're looking for more information about these products, we're going to put them in the links in the description below. I'm Josh Helm, wishing you all the best. Thanks for watching. Texas Best.